In today's video, I want to share with you 5 tips that indicate you are ready to start your very own fashion brand. A lot of people want to start a fashion business, but they don't because they're stuck in fear and procrastination and they just don't end up actually taking the action they need. So in today's video, I want to share with you 5 signs that you are ready to go ahead with your brand. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Vicki, founder of The Fashion Business Coach, and I love helping small and startup fashion brands to launch and scale their businesses successfully. Now, if you're watching this, you haven't started a fashion business yet, but you've been thinking about it, chances are for quite a while. I want to give you a few, green flags today to help you start actually moving forward with your business. And I want to do this because time and time again, I hear from new fashion entrepreneurs who just get stuck in this kind of phase of waiting for perfection. And here's the truth. Things are never going to be perfect. They're never going to work out perfectly first time. And the reality is, if you are waiting for the situation to be perfect, in business as in life, they're never going to be. You're always going to wish, there was more cash in the bank, more hours in the day, that you had more experience. This is just a fact of life. There's always more things that we want. There's always more things that we can learn as well. So actually what I really need to share with you today is that actually chances are you are ready to go right now. So what is this kind of list of 5 things that I've put together? So first off, the first sign you're ready to go, and chances are this is why you're here anyway, you've got an idea that you're excited about. You have some design ideas maybe in your mind, or just simply a passion for the fashion industry, and you know that this is an area that you want to get into. You think you would enjoy the industry. I certainly do. And you want to turn this into a profitable career. So if you've got that idea that you're excited about, you're already partway there to actually launching, because it is just, you need that passion, that excitement. You are going to be, and this is the second one, you're going to need to be willing to prioritize your business. So if you don't have an idea already that you're excited about, chances are after a little while, as soon as the going gets tough, you're going to give up, and we don't want that. So that's why it's really important to have that enthusiasm, that excitement for the idea, first off, and then second, just that willingness to prioritize your business. And again, if you are excited about it, then that becomes easy. I don't know about you, but I know certainly for my business ideas, I'm always getting these new ideas popping into my head, these new things that I'm excited to try, new design ideas, all the things, right? And if that's you as well, then that's a good indicator that now is the time to start the business. The third thing that I think is a good sign that you are ready is that you are willing to make a mindset shift. And the mindset shift that's really, really important when you're starting a new business, especially in a field that you're not already an expert in. It's just having this shift, and instead of thinking of mistakes as mistakes and that it's a bad thing, actually kind of repurposing that and actually seeing mistakes as a learning experience. For example, when I started my very first fashion business back in sort of 2010, 2011 time, I made tons of mistakes. And at the time, I kind of beat myself up about it a little bit, like, oh, what were you doing? What were you thinking? Why did you do that? But the reality is, without those mistakes, I wouldn't have the Fashion Business Coach now. I wouldn't have been running that for the past 6 years. I wouldn't have helped hundreds of other fashion startups to find their way through the industry and launch their own business, because I wouldn't have had that experience, those learnings that I then recognized, oh, actually, I wasn't the only person who experienced this. How can I fast track someone else's success by sharing that? And that's entirely how the Fashion Business Coach was born. So if you want to get into entrepreneurship, and while yes, we're talking about fashion, this applies across the board, you have to start seeing mistakes and so-called failures as learning experiences that move you forward. There's no such thing as a mistake, really, if it's something that you are learning from and you make that conscious effort to learn from the so-called mistake and then take it forward and use that to improve your business. Business growth is all about looking at what's working and what's not working and using that to improve your performance going forward. So this needs to become certainly a weekly or monthly habit in your business to really review these things and see what you can learn from these experiences. The fourth thing that you need is that you have to be willing and happy to put in the work, particularly if you're working with a small budget. At the start, there are going to be a lot of different things that you're going to need to do yourself unless you have a massive budget. For example, you are going to need to familiarize yourselves with things like keeping track of your expenses, of keeping track of your sales, working with a factory or whoever you're going to get to produce your products. You'll need to learn how to work with them. You'll need to learn a bit about digital marketing, selling online, having a website, and all these sorts of things. And probably the ultimate goal for you is that you just want to be the creative person, the ideas person. You don't want to be getting involved in, doing accounting and things like this. And certainly for the actual accounting you submit, I always recommend to hire a professional accountant. But just I'm talking about your sort of day-to-day, looking at what your expenses are and things like that. You really need to be happy to put in that work. And again, it kind of draws back to the first one. If you're super excited and enthusiastic about your idea, this all becomes a whole lot easier because you just have this mindset of, okay, this is the means to an end. I need to get familiar with marketing, with websites, with production, and with just general business operations. And eventually I'm going to outsource all of this. Someone else will do that and I'll just do the bit that I love. But I understand that in this starting phase, to save money, I need to do these bits myself and learn as much as I can. So you need to be happy to put in the work and happy to kind of wear all of these different business hats, so to speak, so that you can, get your business launched, start bringing money in, and then look, okay, which of these things do I like the least, or which am I worst at? And then who can I hire, perhaps on a freelance basis or part-time basis, to help me with these things. And then on that note of kind of budgeting and things like that, a common question that I get asked is, how much budget do I need to start a fashion brand? And my answer is always however much you want to spend, essentially. I've worked with people who started with a few £100 or dollars or euros or whatever currency they're using. I've had people who've started with 40,000, and they've all seen success at whatever level of success they were kind of looking for. And obviously, if you have a smaller budget at the start, the amount of money that you're going to earn in return is going to be smaller versus having a bigger budget. Additionally, with what we were talking about in the fourth point, you're going to have to do a lot more of the work yourself if you have a really tiny budget versus if you have a big budget. So there's that aspect as well. But I would say if you have 400 or so pounds, euros, dollars, whatever it is, then you're in a place to go. So again, another mistake that I see people making is thinking, well, I don't have tens of thousands to launch, it's not going to be enough. There are business models and strategies that you can use to launch really, really small. If you've not heard my personal story before, I don't come from wealth, I'm not well connected, none of the things that people kind of think you need for fashion. And I started my fashion brand with just a few £100 and grew it from there and grew it into, a label that was sold worldwide. So it is possible to start small. You just have to be willing to put in that extra bit of work and just also understand that if you're only investing a few hundred, you only have the potential to make a small amount back. So it does kind of come down to, I guess, the speed in which you see like massive returns and sales and things like that. So I hope that all makes sense. And I hope that's given you, some inspiration, thinking, well, actually, I have got an idea I'm excited about. I am willing to prioritize the business. I am ready to make that mindset shift and think, okay, this isn't a mistake. This is a learning that I can take forward. You're happy to put in that work and wear all those different hats of the different roles in your business. And you've got at least 400-ish pounds, euros, dollars to actually start super, super small and then build your way up. So if that's you and you're saying yes and you're now excited and raring to go, don't let the perfectionism or the fear hold you back. You really can achieve this. I really truly believe that anybody, no matter your experience or background, can have a successful fashion business. Now, if you want to learn more about how to actually do that, join me in my free masterclass that's coming up to learn more about starting a fashion brand, tips for success, and all that good stuff. Have a look at the link below in the description here, and that's going to give you all the information on how you can register free for that class. I hope to see you there, and thank you for your time today. I will see you next week.